Hi and welcome to my channel MEO exam preparation. This is my first video of this channel and I'm starting with the refrigeration system. The refrigeration system, as we all know, consists of four major components. First, the compressor, the condenser, the expansion valve and the evaporator. These are the four major components, but to go in the detail of the system, we have to go from the compressor and we have to return back to the compressor, seeing each and every part one by one. In the diagram we are not able to see all the components, but I will explain to you slowly, going one by one, which component follows which. So according to me, first of all, we should know the system thoroughly. If we don't know the system thoroughly, we cannot find out the problems in the system. Just like the human body, the doctor knows each and every component, the function of each and every component should be known to us. So first, the compressor compresses the refrigerant gas and increases the temperature and pressure. From here the refrigerant goes and there's an oil separator unit which separates the oil which gets evaporated with the refrigerant, and this oil should be separated so that it should not go in the system, or else the heat transfer rate will decrease because the oil gets accumulated in the evaporator valves and hence leads to a lot of problems like temperature is not coming on the system and something like that. So the compressed refrigerant goes from the compressor to the oil separator, and then as the refrigerant moves down from the separator, the oil gets separated and the refrigerant moves to the condensing system or the condenser. Now in the condenser, the refrigerant gets condensed and gets collected into the receiver. Here it is written seawater outlet and seawater inlet. But in the latest ships, as we know, LT and HT system is there. So it is not normally cooled by an LT water system, that is a fresh water. From the condenser, it goes to the receiver. The receiver has a gauge glass also to see whether how much amount of refrigerant is present. Whenever you go for your watch and you take a round, you should see how much refrigerant is present in the gauge glass. From the receiver, it goes to the master solenoid if it is present in the system, and then to the dryer. The dryer's main work is to eliminate any moisture present in the refrigerant, because this moisture can lead to the frosting in the expansion valve, and hence the temperature of the room will not come, because if the thermostatic expansion valves gas gets moisture and its gas gets iced, then the refrigerant will not flow from expansion valve to the evaporator and we will not get the required temperature, which required and the desired temperature of the room. Normally it is a silica gel type of a dryer, and from here if the moisture is present, it gets separated and the refrigerant moves from the dryer towards the room. Now there is a side glass over here. This side glass is very important because here you can see whether the refrigerant going has a bubbles or not. a lot of bubbles or a small bubbles. The size of the bubble also matters, and this will I will explain in my next video. From here the refrigerant goes to every single room. Now normally we have 4 rooms: vegetable room, meat room, poultry room, and the fish room. Every room has a different solenoids over here, but before the solenoid valves we also have normal manual valves. From one is here and one is here, one is here and one is here. This is to if we really want to isolate the particular room, and we have to find out, normally we used to check which room is creating a problem, like where the gas leakage is there. We can normally close this room and this room manually also, and we can check whether the leakage is over here or the leakage is in the room, and whatever the places it may be. So one manual valve is over here and one manual valve is over here. Now the solenoid valve is controlled by the thermostatic switch, which has a sensing bulb placed in the evaporator coil. It senses the temperature of the evaporator, or you can say the room, and then it opens and closes the solenoid valves according to the temperature in the room. Solenoid valve is normally either a fully open or fully closed type of a valve, and it will allow the refrigerant to flow, or it controls the flow of refrigerant to a room. Now from the solenoid valve the refrigerant goes to the thermostatic expansion valve. The thermostatic expansion valve senses the temperature of the refrigerant which is coming out of the evaporator, and according to that it increases or decreases the amount of refrigerant that it should go inside the room. From here the refrigerant goes to the evaporator coil, cools, takes the heat from the evaporator, or you can say the room, and gets in the temperature of this refrigerant increases, and the liquid that has formed over here, it converts to gaseous form, and it goes back to the compressor. Now we should know that for the effective and efficient working of the system, the gas refrigerant that comes in should always go in the form of a gas over here, or else the compressor's valves will get damaged, the compressor itself can get damaged. So this is accomplished by the help of a thermostatic expansion valve, which actually expands the gas and lead to the liquid to becoming to subcooled, and when it goes to the system and takes the heat, all the refrigerant gets converted into gaseous form, and then it goes to the compressor and the cycle starts from here to here. Now the evaporator has a defrosting element which is controlled by a timer clock. It is important because 2 times in a day the system is defrost, so that if the icing formation is there in the evaporator, then the icing should be melted so that efficient heat transfer should take place. So in this video I've discussed the components that are present in the refrigeration system of a ship. In my next video I will tell you each and every component of a refrigeration system one by one in a detailed manner. Thank you.